Who's ready to do a science experiment? I am. Are you? Let's do them together.
Hi scientists, welcome back. It's Miss Shannon again. I'm here for another science experiment. Let's make elephant toothpaste. You heard it, toothpaste for an elephant. Do you think they really brush their teeth? That's something to think about while we're doing this experiment. First, let's talk about the supplies we're gonna need to make this creation today. So we're gonna need some containers to make the elephant toothpaste in. I have an empty plastic 2-liter bottle and a big glass jar that I had at home. I'm putting it on a tray because I'm doing it inside my house and I don't want to wreck my table, so make sure you have it on a tray. If you're doing it outside, it's easier, you can wash the stuff away, but if you're doing it inside, make sure you have it on a tray. You can get one of those disposable ones at the store, but I just had a really large cookie sheet that I'm going to use. You're gonna need a funnel. You're gonna need to get some food coloring because we can make these some different colors. So I got some red, green, and yellow. You need some spoons, some measuring cups, a bowl for mixing some water and yeast together. You need yeast. You need dish soap. You need some warm water and hydrogen peroxide. You can get this at any grocery store or pharmacy in your area. You'll just have to have your person supervising you help. Other things you're gonna need is for safety. You need to wear some safety glasses. If it's sunglasses or these type of safety glasses that you can get at your local hardware store or dollar store. You also will need some gloves. Get yourself some gloves, put them on so it doesn't irritate your skin. You don't want to leave any red marks or itchy spots in your skin. It's safe to use, but it can irritate your skin because you're using some different things that your skin might not be used to. You also need a person to supervise you. This is the most important supply. You need to have a parent or another adult to help you supervise this activity to make sure that you're being safe at all times. Hello, scientists. Now you're back with your supplies and your adult to help you with this experiment. Let's get started. Okay, so first thing you need to do is you need to put a little bit of dish soap in the bottom of each of the containers you're using or the container that you're using, okay? Just a few drops. You wanna make sure that it's not too much, but you have enough in there. So just 2 or 3 drops will be perfect. Next, you're gonna need the hydrogen peroxide. So this is where you're gonna wanna make sure you have the supervisor helping you. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my measuring cup onto the tray so that I'm not getting it on the table that I'm using. Okay, so we need half a cup of this. So let's put it in there. Measure, 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 measure. There we go, half a cup, okay? I'm gonna put this on the tray just in case anything dripped on there and I don't wanna get it on my table and wreck my table. It says the best way to get it into the jar is using the funnel. So we're gonna put the funnel on top. I suggest holding the funnel or getting your helper to help you hold the funnel. So then we're gonna dump the hydrogen peroxide into the bottle. Okay, there we go. All right, you can take that out now, put it back on your tray, and we're I'm gonna do 2 jars so I can show you some different colors. So if you have 2 jars, you do your second jar. If not, just wait a second while I do this. So I'm gonna put another half a cup into the next jar that I'm using. Okay. Close the lid, it's on tight. I'm gonna put it up here in the corner of my tray so it's out of the way. So this one I won't need a funnel because this one has a big opening. So I'm just gonna pour it in, okay? All right. Now, what it said to do is to swoosh around the dish soap in hydrogen peroxide. So you're gonna take your bottle with your hand and you're gonna swoosh it around, get it all mixed together. You want no more dish soap sitting on the bottom and it's all mixed in, kind of like when you do the dishes at home and it mixes into the hot water when you're washing your plates and forks and knives. Okay, I'm gonna do the other one. I might use a spoon for this one because it's a bit of a larger jar. Just give it a good mix. Mixy, 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 mixy. And there you go, mixed up. Next, it says we should add some warm water to a small bowl. So this is my small bowl that I've got. And we need about half a cup of warm water. So I got some warm water. I'm gonna pour it into my 1/2 cup, just like this, okay? And then I'm gonna pour it into the small bowl. Then it requires us to have 1/2 a tablespoon of yeast. So there's my 1/2 my tablespoon. I'm gonna use this to scoop out the yeast. Yeast is an interesting thing. It helps us make bread and have a nice loaf of fluffy bread. But yeast comes in, it looks like this, almost little like sand pebbles. It's brown in color and it can easily make a mess all over the floor. So we're gonna get 1/2 a tablespoon and we're gonna sprinkle that into our bowl. Now, you're gonna wanna let it sit for a minute because you wanna make sure that yeast starts to activate. So you can stir that yeast around a little bit and then have it sit there while we do the next step. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside so that you and I can do the next step, which is the food coloring. Wait till you see what happens here. So it says to take your food coloring. So I think I'm gonna start with green, take my lid off. Remember, food coloring can dye your skin, so there's another good reason that you're wearing gloves. So it says, take your bottle and tilt it, right? Okay, and then you can put some drops into it. Oh, what's this doing? Oh, put a few drops in there, okay. Kind of put it all over the side, it said. I'm gonna do some red. Mine's a gel food coloring, so it's not going down the bottle as well as I thought it would be, but you might have the liquid stuff. I can't get the liquid stuff where I live, so I'm just doing the gel stuff. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a bit of yellow. All right, there we go. All right, and then it says to kind of like do this. So you're gonna make your jar look like this, okay? And then the next step, we're gonna do the same thing. I might just do this one in yellow. Just down the sides a bit. And we're gonna have some yellow toothpaste. All right, I'm gonna put that aside. So now we got some lovely food coloring in our jars, and our next step is going to be putting the yeast into the mixture. But I think I'm going to clean up here a little bit and get really organized, because what it's telling me is when I put the yeast mixture into here, there is going to be a great appearance of elephant toothpaste. So let me get my area cleaned up, a bit organized, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and we're ready to get started to make our elephant toothpaste. Okay, I've done some cleaning up. I'm back. So I'm gonna start with the glass jar. So I have my hydrogen peroxide, my dish soap. I've mixed it up. I've added some food coloring to the side, so it makes it like a colorful toothpaste. If you just want a white toothpaste, you don't need coloring to it. Just add nothing. Just have the mixture itself. Then in the side bowl, I've made my warm water and yeast mixture. And now it says that when we pour it in here, stand back and watch the toothpaste be made. Okay, so we're ready? Oh, fingers crossed this works. I kind of hope they always do work, but you never know, right? Science is one of those things that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So let's go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna start to pour. What's going on here? I see some bubbling. Whoa, 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 it's coming over. Oh, this is why it said to have a tray. Look. Wow, that was fantastic. I can see the red food coloring coming out. It's actually bubbling quite a bit more than I thought it would. That is great. So we know it worked. That's great. Okay, so now I gotta try the bigger bottle. I gotta see if it comes out straight up, what it looks like. Okay, first let me touch it. I wanna see, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Okay, so when I touch it with my finger on the side of the tray, I feel like it feels a bit warm. So not hot, but warm to the touch. I wonder why that's happening. That's something to think about. Look at this texture. You can use your finger or with your glove on, or a spoon. Let's try with the spoon first. So look, it comes off and it's very foamy. Okay. It is kind of like when you brush your teeth and foam comes out. So it reminds me a little bit of whipped cream, right? Or like really fluffy toothpaste. Okay, so that's very good. I think that worked. So things to remember now that I've seen this one, I'm gonna check on the next one to see if it feels the same way. Bit warm to the touch. It's not a liquid anymore. I would say it's turning into more of a solid material, but still has a liquid component to it. So you could always play in this a little bit with your gloves on and see what it looks like. On the side of the jar, you can see the toothpaste coloring around the edges. I thought maybe that the white foam would be more mixed with the color. So maybe when we do it in the plastic jar that's taller, we might get more of the food coloring mixed in to this white mixture. Stuff to think about. Okay, I want you to go and make your notes. Make some notes about what yours looked like. How warm was it? What changes did you see? Did it work right away? Did it take a couple extra seconds? Did your food coloring stay on the side of the jar, or did it come into the toothpaste mixture? And any other notes that you think would be important to ask yourself after, because we want to know all about the science, right? I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to get another tray ready to use with my taller jar, because I'd like to see it in two sort of different ways. Okay, I'm back with my bigger bottle. All right, so the smaller in height container that I used, the stuff came out, but it didn't like spurt out the top. It kind of like flowed over it because it had a wider opening. So I'm wondering if when we have a smaller opening, will it like push its way up and come flowing out the side of the bottle? Let's see. Okay, so we noticed that last time it was warm to the touch. It didn't stay a complete liquid. It got foamy and had some texture to it. Okay, so those are things to remember. And it did have the texture of that foamy toothpaste when you're brushing your teeth and getting a good scrub on your teeth and maybe on the elephant's teeth. So we're gonna try this bottle now. So we have our hydrogen peroxide, our dish soap, some food coloring around the side. You're going to need to use your funnel for this one because it's too narrow, the opening, and you'll spill the stuff everywhere. So if you don't feel comfortable holding it and pouring at the same time, have your adult help you. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just gonna stir this yeast and water mixture one more time just to make sure we're all mixed up and there's no clumps in the bottom. Okay, I'm so excited. I really hope this works. I get so excited to see it working and how the science is happening. You're learning the same time I'm learning, so it's really quite a cool thing. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Yeah! It came up! That's great! Oh, and you can see the food coloring coming out of it. I got some red specks and some green and some yellow. That is so neat. Fun. That was great. Came up a lot faster than the last one because it had a more narrow container to push its way through. That was great. I hope yours worked. Send me some pictures of yours working or videos. I would love to see them. I'd love to talk about this with you. I would love to see what it looks like. I am going now to talk a little bit about the science of this. That's what we're here to learn about. That's what I'm learning about at the same time as you. So we want to find out what the catalyst of allowing the foam to come out the top. What do you think it was? Do you think the yeast had something to do with it? So look into things that yeast can do. Because remember, we use yeast when making bread. So it makes our bread rise. So is that why the solution was able to rise? Something to think about. How about think about the hydrogen peroxide? Was it the mixture of the yeast and hydrogen peroxide? Did the dish soap have anything to do with it? Things to think about. I'm not going to tell you all the answers right now because I want you to think about those. But in our materials after, I'm going to have those answers for those questions. And I want you to read through them after and compare them to your investigations that you do. The other thing is the reaction. What kind of reaction do you think this was? Look up different reactions that can have. Is it because there was heat? Because of the hot water for the yeast mixture? Is that maybe why the foamy stuff stayed warm? Because it's not hot, it's warm to touch. So is that why it happened? Things to think about. These are important things to look at in your notes. But in the information after that I'm going to put attached to this video, you're going to see all of those answers. So I look forward to hearing all about it. Please send me your videos. Please send me your pictures and please send me your questions. I'll see you next quarter for our next quarterly experiment with Miss Shannon. Have a great day, everybody.